and we'll hopefully go into a wonderful, wonderful presentation, and then we'll wrap up today after that. So, James is here today, born in Ohio. Eric, as he is known by his friends, has 4 siblings and very creative parents. His father was a painter, and his mother was an interior decorator. His first job was at Fairfield County Fair at the age of 8. He started his first company at the age of 17. Eric served his country proudly in the Army for 8 years. He graduated with honors from the Ohio State University and moved to Northern California, where he started 2 more companies in Silicon Valley. After 17 years in California, Eric moved to Boston in 2008, where he fine-tuned his small business consulting practice. His focus is on employers that have less than 20 employees, showing them how they can protect their assets as well as their health. He is very busy now working as a licensed health agent, helping people unravel the confusing, costly new health insurance law. Eric mentors troubled teenagers as well as the coaches other entrepreneurs. He loves outdoors and walks 24 miles a week on Siesta Key Beach. He is known as the professor of perspective and enjoys sharing universal principles with those who are actively seeking enlightenment. A friend of Career Source SunCoast for 3 years, Eric's insights and teachings are meant to wake people up in their potential. Awesome. Please welcome Mr. James Eric Ross.
Good morning. How are we doing today?
Good.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. I have been given a lot of gifts in my life, and so have all of us. As a matter of fact, all of us have a giant inside of us awakening, wanting to wake up. Unfortunately, we feed a lot of sleeping pills to that giant. I think it started right there.
Right.
Nope, next one, all the way to the end.
Sorry.
That's right, that one right there. There we go.
There we go.
So, the giant that is in all of us, a lot of people, they want to keep that giant down, or you listen to what other people say, and you shouldn't. You should, when you're down, I heard this the other day, and if you can take one thing away from what I'm saying today, this is it. When you're down, don't listen to yourself, talk to yourself. And listening to yourself is, why is this always happening to me? How come this is going on again? And it's this tape that goes over and over, instead of talking to yourself, which is intentional. Mental toughness is a mindset. It truly is, because to be mentally tough, and there's so many things that you could relate in sports, or Viktor Frankl, if you're familiar with him, if you haven't read Viktor Frankl's autobiography about his experience in the Holocaust and his mental toughness and how he knew he was going to get through, is absolutely incredible. When you're going through something that is difficult, like a job search, or some personal conflict that you might have in your life, you have to be able to weather the storm mentally, because you are able to understand that if there's garbage goes in, whether it be you're watching television all the time, you're listening to negative people, prosperity is not going to come out. If garbage in, if you plant lemon seeds expecting to have pomegranates grow, it's not going to happen. But people do that all the time, don't they? They do one thing and they expect something else. If you put in mediocre effort, are you going to have excellent results? I'll give you a minute. No, it's impossible. If you put forth excellent effort, if you put forth that which is inside of you that you know, and you're passionate about that which you do, then you're going to have an amazing outcome. But if you do something, as my father would say, half-assed, then you're going to have a half-assed result, period. Getting uncomfortable. Getting uncomfortable to me was most people at a funeral delivering the eulogy would rather be the one in the casket than the one giving the eulogy, because the number one fear that people have is what I'm doing right now. And why do you think that is? There's a song by 21 Pilots, and the lines are, my name is Blurry Face, and I care what you think. I care what you think, but it doesn't impact me, because what you think about James Eric Ross, it's none of my business. It's none of my business. And if I go around thinking Jim has a negative impression about me, then it's going to impact everything that I do, won't it? This picture, I love this picture. I took it in 2008. That's my dog named Kitty, Kiddie. I rescued her from Boston. and she's looking into Toronto, just very pensive, like introspective almost. This is a dog, very bright dog, by the way. But I couldn't believe it, the silhouette and everything. Actually, that's going to be the cover of my book, and my book is called Steeper Than Others. And what Steeper Than Others is about my testimony. And no matter how bad you have it in life, there's someone that has it way worse than you do in Mogadishu, in Namibia, in Palestine. Way worse. Like you have no idea what's going on, the atrocities that are going on. And we're complaining in the United States. Please. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's what that means. If you're doing something that is stretching yourself, you're going to be a better person because you're stretching yourself. Imitate excellence. Find someone that has what you want. Do what they do, and you'll get what they've got. That seems very simplistic, but life isn't rocket surgery. I heard someone say that the other day. I love that. It's not rocket surgery. It's not. If you understand the tenets, and we're going to go through this, and you can be present and not be in your, I see people walking down the beach on siesta, and they're doing this, and they're missing everything else. They're missing it because they're not present. So imitating excellence, I think, is huge. Goal, like a dream, if you have a dream or a goal with no plan, it is a dream. It's not going to happen. If you don't have something that is tangible, 1, 2, a sequence, steps, imitating excellence, doing all these things, stretching yourself, you'll never achieve that which you desire in life. What's the diff? What's the diff? You've heard that before. This came to me when I was walking on the beach, and because I'm open to the channel, because we're transmission towers, the same as we are receiving towers, and your energy. The tent that I'm seeing, your meat suit, Jim's meat suit, the way he looks, how tall he is, that's not Jim. Jim's essence, which is eternal, can never be created nor destroyed. It always was and always will be. That's Jim, his authentic self. But what I want to be able to do is explain to you, when you hear what's the diff, you have an idea of what that is. To me, what's the diff is discipline. Doing that which you don't want to do when you don't want to do it. Waking up at 4:30 this morning. I didn't want to wake up at 4:30 this morning, but I knew I had to come here and transfer my enthusiasm to you so that you could go out and take just a modicum, just a little piece of what I'm saying today. And if there's one thing that I say that you're able to write down and take notes, and I see some people taking notes. Did you know that people take notes have a much higher percentage of becoming more successful because they're taking notes? My dad always taught me, short pencil is always better than a long memory. It's true. Discipline, doing that which you don't want to do when you don't want to do it. That's being disciplined. Intention, the power of intention. Dr. Wayne Dyer, who's one of my favorite avatars, he has passed away, but I've had so much impact from Dr. Dyer's life. And he basically said, whatever you do in life, what is the intent behind it? If you're yelling and screaming at somebody, or if you're upset at somebody, you might not know that there is an intention behind it, but you do have an intention, and that's like to seek revenge. I want revenge. I want justice. So what is your discipline? What's your intent? I think this is the biggest one, and this is something that came to me. To the detriment of all else around me, I will not take my eye off of the prize. And what that means is, and I use this, I did graduate from the Ohio State University, and I'll never forget it. I was driving my bike in probably December, and there was like 13 inches of snow on my mountain bike going to class, and I thought to myself, am I ever going to get out of here? Am I always going to be in college and having to wake up at 6:30 in the morning and study all of this stuff that I'm never going to need ever in the rest of my life? But that was the focus, because I was so laser focused. I was working 40 hours a week, and I begged and pleaded my guidance counselor for me to take 26 credit hours, these are quarter hours, in that 10-week period. She said, you're crazy. And I said, no, I'm not crazy. I want to get the heck out of here. And I got a 4.0 that quarter, working full-time job, studying my butt off, because it was to the detriment of everything else that I was so focused. I was hyper-focused, and it works. So what are some things that you are doing that you're disciplined in or undisciplined in? You can look at me and say, without me saying anything, that guy must work out, because I don't have any extra body fat on me. My arms for a 50-year-old are pretty big, so success leaves clues, doesn't it? Success always leaves clues. The person whether they're driving a nice car or their attitude, the way that they carry themselves. So do you have intent when you wake up in the morning? Are you focused on that which you desire in life? And these are questions I can't answer, but these are things that I want you to start to think about and start to say, what's going on. We're going to talk about 4 things, and I'm going to relate it anecdotally to my life. And the biggest one is why. Simon Sinek is someone that really changed my life, and I want you to be able to see that. What is your passion? What is your bliss? Do you know what that passion is? Are you pushing that down? The pillars, and the pillars are the foundation of life. What are you resting your life upon? Is it sand? Is it marshmallows? Or is it rock? Is it granite? Is it strong? And giving back. So these are the 4 things that we're going to talk about. And I'm going to go quickly because I'm going to do some breakout sessions because Dr. Anita, who I absolutely adore, she is one of my mentors as well. She told me, I think it would be good if you could do something that would enable the people to have a takeaway. So I'm going to force you to do something that will hopefully propel you to that next level. So the Golden Circle, Simon Sinek. You have to watch this video. It's a 17-minute video on YouTube. Just search Simon Sinek, the Golden Circle. And the Golden Circle is basically opposite or orthogonal to what we're taught in marketing or commercials. A Honda Civic. They start with the what? Here's a Honda Civic. Then they go to the how. This car is built in near Columbus, Ohio. I'm the plant that's in Marysville, Ohio. And you should buy this because it gets great. Simon says that's completely opposite of what it should be. And since Simon Sinek has been doing this video, starting with the why, people don't care what you do for a living. People care why you do it. That's what they care about. They might not say that, but it's true. I don't care the how or the what. If the why is big enough, the how doesn't matter. It really doesn't, if you understand what I'm saying. Well, how am I going to achieve fill in the blank? How is James Eric Ross going to be the #1 writing agent for his company, US Health Advisors? I don't care about the how. I care about the why. Because my why is so big that anybody could come at me and try to drag me down or knock me out, and I just look at them and smile and nod my head and shrug my shoulders, because they can't knock me out because my why is that big. I believe that I was put on this earth for a purpose, and that purpose was to grow into a mighty oak, not shrink back into a hole. That's who I am, and that's the beginning of my golden circle. It starts with the why. I believe, I desire, I know. I'm a licensed health agent that helps other people every day. And that's a good, if someone says, what do you do? I go, I'm a helper, I'm a giver. What do you do? I'm an alarm clock. They're like, okay, I'll bite. What do you mean? Well, I wake people up to their potential. What do you do, James? I'm a transportation specialist. Okay. I get people from where they are now to where they want to go. What is it that you say when you have your little elevator speech, or what my dad said? He called it the 5-foot rule. And my dad could sell ketchup popsicles to white-gloved women in August. That's how good he was. He was a master at painting word pictures. And he said, Eric, what is your 5-foot rule? I go, I don't know what a 5-foot rule is. He said, anybody within 5 feet should know exactly what the heck you're doing. And if you were able to do that and have that ebullience and have that energy and passion to say, hey, I don't know if you can help me out, but I'm looking to become could you help me? When you start off a conversation, hey, I need your help. People are, believe it or not, they'll listen. I need your help. And it's true, especially in my business. If your why isn't big enough, you're going to get knocked out every single day. I heard someone say that in relation to, a boxer. You will get beat the heck up if your why isn't big enough. Why are you here? What is it that you want to achieve? And you're going to see some things later on that we're going to go through that will help you understand. So I want to do a breakout session right now. And in that breakout session, I'm going to pass around, if someone doesn't have a pen, does everyone have a pen on them? Okay, so please, okay, I can get you a pen. Please pass this around. Pass these down. And I don't want you to think about this. The first thing that came to your mind, I don't rethink it. I want you to put that first thing that came to your head. One word that describes you. Write it down. One word that describes me that I would say ebullient. If you don't know what that word is, I'm a wordsmith. My vocabulary is north of 100,000 words. I worked on that. I had to work on that. But ever since I was a kid, I was like, Mom, what's taciturn mean? Mom, what's sycophancy? She'd look it up. I still have my Oxford Unabridged Dictionary. It's this big. We don't need that anymore because we got our phones, don't we? But I still like that because it takes me back to my youth. So I would look up these words every single day, like ebullience. Ebullient is someone that's enthusiastic, someone that's passionate. And I'm not making this up. This is who I am, believe it or not. I had a friend in college, his name was Jeff Fisher, never forget it. He had a beautiful 1968 Corvette Stingray with stock side pipes, and that's worth a lot of money today. And he said, I don't like that guy, Eric Ross. And my friend's like, what the heck are you talking about? What do you mean you don't like Eric Ross? He goes, that guy suffers from excessive happiness. Well, isn't that an oxymoron? How can you suffer from happiness? Is it possible? Could you suffer from happiness? I don't think so. But the reason that he didn't like me is because he was miserable. You ever seen someone when you're having a bad day and they're just up like a pup, as my sister says, instead of down like a clown? I'm not down like a clown, I'm up like a pup all the time. Now, do I have my moments? Sure I do. But up like a pup means that I'm going out and I'm being intentional because I know if I'm going to impact someone today, like I did at Starbucks, this girl was having a horrible day. And I looked at her before I left and I said, Karina, I said, my gosh, you haven't stopped since I've been here, and you're an amazing manager, and I see all these people following your lead. Thank you for making my morning. And she went from this, and she was like, puffed her up. Just me saying that. Your words speak life or death over people. So don't speak death over people. And sometimes it's easy to do, especially when people are baiting you into something to escalate. You know what I'm saying? So what's the first word that comes to your mind when you say that? Keep it to yourself, but I want you to think about what you wrote down. I think it's important because a lot of people and I had people write down things that they're not flattering, not loser, but they're just like confused. That's the first thing that comes to their mind. There's a lot of confusion in the world today, isn't there? Because they don't know who they are. That meat suit that I'm talking about, or how they're trying to impress people with a car payment of $700, and they're living, they have expensive watch or expensive clothes. They can't afford any of that stuff. Who are they